Hey there everybody, welcome to another LEGO set review. Today we'll be taking a look at 75218 X-Wing Starfighter from 2018. This isn't the current version, this is one of the recent versions. And I think this is the best version, in my opinion. There's a lot of X-Wings, for good reason, and I think this is one of the best ones, because there's a lot of detail, a lot of interactive features, and the figures are fantastic. So I think it's just a great deal. This did retail for $80 back in 2018, which I think is overpriced. It should have been $60. But you know what? It has 730 pieces, so it definitely isn't a small build. It's pretty dense. It's got a lot of good parts, and the building experience is great. And yeah, it's got 4 figures, and it's based primarily on A New Hope, but you can apply it to the original trilogy. And this is the T65 X-Wing, so the classic older design, which I prefer. But yeah, we'll take a look at the ship itself in a minute, but we're going to push it back just a little bit so we can take a look at the 4 minifigures, which are all great. You know, I might just keep it like that. We get Biggs Darklighter as he falls down. We get R2-Q2, Luke Skywalker, of course, and R2-D2, of course. I won't spend as much time on Luke and R2 just because we've gotten them so many times. This is not my first X-Wing, actually. I have the 2012 version. Unfortunately, it's destroyed, so no review, unfortunately. That's just, it's gone. But anyway, just wanted to mention that. Do have a little experience with the X-Wings. But here's Biggs Darklighter. He is Luke's best friend, and he reunites with him at the end of A New Hope, near the end, before the assault on the Death Star. He has some excellent detailing. He's got a pistol. He is wearing the flight suit of the X-Wing pilots. He's got a great helmet with checkerboard pattern. I should mention, the helmets in this set are kind of a one-off. They kind of experimented with these bigger, more accurate, kind of dual-molded helmets. So they have the orange fused with the white detailing. It's much more accurate than the old helmets, but due to fan backlash, they never used them again after this set, which is kind of a shame. Anyway, he's got a great design, a very accurate checkerboard pattern all over his helmet. He does have 2 faces. Here's his first one, kind of a smirk, and another smirk. So he's got double smirks, which is interesting for a figure. Normally, with these minifigures, you have a happy or a angry face, but this one has 2 happy looks, which is cool. He has back detailing as well. He's exclusive to the set. He also appeared in 1999, I believe. I could be wrong. It was one of the early years of LEGO Star Wars where he came out in the set, and it was so basic, but it was still cool to get him. So he comes in the set. You can only get him here. And you also get his droid, R2-Q2. This is the second appearance of him, and this is the much more detailed version. I believe this is from A New Hope. And he looks great. And yeah, cool figure. He's also exclusive, so that's nice. Very nice to get these 2 great pilots. Very, very nice. I do actually have it set up so never mind. I'll get to that later. So we do have the other 2 figures. Luke Skywalker, of course, and R2-D2. I'll put R2 aside. Here's Luke. He's got his lightsaber. He's got his helmet. You know, classic design. The only new thing here is his helmet, which is different from the old helmet. Here's the old one. Or here's the current one, I guess, that they still use. And he's got a great design. He's got the Rebel Alliance logos on his helmet there. He's got the same detailing as Biggs in terms of the suit. Suit's the same. He does have 2 faces. They're really not that different. He's got the smirk and the scowl. It's not that different. Helmet's great, though. So, yeah, I love these helmets. I love the look of them. They're very big. They're, like, oversized, which is accurate because in the films, they were oversized. But, you know, the fans didn't like them, so, you know, that's okay. And here's R2-D2. Basic figure, great figure. You know, just not that interesting. But he's needed, of course. He's very important to the scene and, you know, to the X-Wing in general. So great. He's just not that exciting, but he's a great figure. Very good detail, I should say. Those are the 4 figures. They're all great. Let's move them aside. My personal favorite is the Biggs figure. It looks so good. So here's the X-Wing itself. It's pretty big. It's about the same size as the last one. The 2012 one was pretty big. And this one is a little bit shorter, but it's definitely more accurate than the other one. Let's point, I'll kind of give you a 360 of it here. It's very, very detailed. Kind of go from the front and start from there. We do have some stickers. Let's see. Trying to see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We have about 10 stickers on this X-Wing, which is not too bad. I'd say the stickers you gotta worry about are the ones on here. I can show you. These stickers here, if you don't get these straight, it's gonna look off, but if you can get those straight, it'll be good. It does have a lot of interactive features, but I'll talk about some of the details first. You got the engines here. The 4 wings, of course, can split off into the X mode, which I'll show you in a little bit. And there's a lot of great detail, a lot of great pieces like these window panels. You've got these grill pieces. You got the this cockpit canopy. Not a ton of new parts on this one. There's also some great pieces in the back. But it's got a very long nose. It's got the 4 wings. It's got the 4 engines in the back, which looks great. The back looks fantastic. You've got just this kind of hexagon kind of looking detail right here. You've got some pistols as detail. A lot of detail back here. And I like the pink engines coming out. Looks like the exhaust. It looks great. And you got this part up here. Lots of sand blue. You'll notice there's some sand blue pieces sprinkled throughout to give it that old, worn appearance. Which, of course, this is not a new ship. This is an old model. You know, in terms of the Rebel Alliance, they kind of have a lot of older ships, like the Y-Wing as well. Don't have a Y-Wing yet. Plan to get one someday. But it's great. I love all the design work is really nice. I like the color scheme. It's very consistent. It's got the white with the red with the blue. It looks solid with some gray as well. It does have some interactive features. We got some stud shooters here near the cockpit. You know, you push those, fires the stud. Pretty simple. We do have landing gear. There's a retractable bit up here, which so if you can move that up, and when you move that up, it makes it so you can have clearance to fly the ship. So, let me get the tripod for a minute so I can show you the top of the ship, which does have some good detailing. I can zoom in here. You can see this part here. This is actually this is the mechanism to activate the S-foils or the wings. So it's pretty simple. You just push this forward. Let me kind of zoom out a little bit so you can see I'm talking about. So when you push this forward, activates the wings, and now they're in their flight mode, and they're held in by the rubber band system. It's pretty good, works really well. They've had the rubber bands for quite a few years. I believe since 2006, I could be wrong, but it's one of the newer changes, I guess, to the design. This is how it looks in the attack mode. It's very iconic. There's actually 2 ways to close the wings. There's a pin on the bottom, which doesn't look the greatest when it's, flying, but it's actually really useful for when you want to land the ship. And then if you want to just close it normally, you just push back this lever. But if you push the landing gear, put the landing gear back down, and there's the pin, if you set it down with some force, it should close the wings. And then now it's back to landing mode, which I think is great. Because it's just, you don't have to fiddle with it to get it to go back to the mode, which I think is good. Unfortunately, that pin is another problem, or I guess it's a small problem because it just doesn't look the greatest. It works really well, to close the wings, but it doesn't look very good. So you can take that out. It's not that big of a deal. You can just, push and pull the lever. But that's just something I wanted to complain about. Something I can't complain about, though, I cannot, is the cockpit. The beautiful piece with some awesome sand blue printing. And to get inside, let me get the pilot. So in this case, I have it set to red 3, which is Big Starfighter's X-Wing configuration. And there is some detailing in here I can show you. There is a fire extinguisher, a seat, and a control panel, printed piece. And to put Biggs in, just gotta sit him down. And there you go, that's what he looks like. You can close it up. It's got enough room, so he's nice and snug in there. Looks very good. And behind him is the astromech droid port. You can put R2-Q2, whatever droid you like, and then you can put them in there. And now they are ready to fly. One thing I wanted to mention is on the wings, there is a lot of great detailing, but specifically, there are 2x3 flat tiles in white. And essentially, they kind of did this with the 2012 X-Wing. Again, I apologize for the dust, or I apologize because there's a lot of dust on this. But anyway, there is a way that you can switch out the pilots. So say you want to do Luke's, red 5 call sign. Well, they give you they give you 4 of these these tiles. And so right here, you can see that it is red 3. So this is Big's ship, his version of the X-Wing. But let's say I wanted to switch it to Luke's. So to do that, they give you a brick separator. All you gotta do is go like this and then take that off. And then what you wanna do is take the stickered piece and put that on right like so. And then it's now Luke's fighter. So you can kind of switch it out, however you like, which is great. I think it could have been a little bit better. This is why I kind of wish that they give you 2 more figures, like 1 more droid, 1 more pilot, to give you maybe 2 more of those tiles so you can switch it out between 3 different pilots. I think that would have been really cool. But anyway, just wanted to point that out. Also, before I forget, there are, of course, the standard missile launchers, which are on all 4 of the wings. So that is pretty awesome. Something that we've seen on the more recent X-Wings, like the Force Awakens versions and the Rise of Skywalker one as well. So just and more firepower, essentially. So they're pretty essential and pretty fun. Just be careful, they can pack a punch. So when you're flying around, you can tap the missiles and shoot them off. It's pretty fun. The cannons look great. And yeah, that is essentially it for the set. I believe I went over everything. Let's see. I do want to show the underside really briefly, just so you could see. It's a little hard to show you, but this is what the underside of it looks like. It's not too exciting, but I just wanted to show it. I do think this set could have done with a ladder, or maybe a little transport ship or something to go on the side. But it's not that needed. It just would have been cool. Let me see if I can find anything wrong with this. Let me show the back one more time, because I love the back. It looks so great. In fact, I think the back is my favorite part. It just looks so accurate and so cool. The design of it looks really great. And also, I think my favorite part of this, other than the back, is just the worn out detailing. Just the sand blue markings, you can tell it's old. It's not something new. It's just this super old ship, which I think is good because that's how it was, which makes sense. Yeah, I think the biggest complaint, the con, I'd say, is when this was released, it was $80. I think it's probably not worth that. It's probably worth $60, more like 80. I feel is pushing it, even though there's a lot of pieces and there's a lot of design work. I just think it's not enough for 80, but if you can somehow get this nowadays without paying too much, I think you should definitely get it. If you don't have an X-Wing, this is probably the best version, although there's a lot of them, so it just depends on which one you like the most. I do wish there was 2 more minifigures, but that's just, wishful thinking. And it would have been nice to get a display stand, but they don't usually do that with these. Trying to think of anything else that I don't like. Nope. I think this is a worthy model. I give it a 10. I have nothing really bad to say. It is retired, so it's going to be a little bit more than what it was when it was out. But if you could somehow get it, definitely get it. It's definitely worth adding to your collection, especially if you want a really accurate model. This is one of the best ones, I think, for sure. I don't see myself getting another X-Wing for a long time. Just because I think this model it exceeds the expectations, I think. It doesn't have nearly anything wrong with it. So I think I won't have to get another X-Wing for years. So, yeah. Let me know what you think about this set. Do you have it? Do you like the figures? Do you like the helmets? What do you think about this overall? Do you think this is the best X-Wing, or do you think it's the worst? What do you think? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry if it was a little bit long. But more reviews are coming in the future. Try to get one out as soon as I can. And I will see you for the next one. Take care. Thanks again. And I'll see you later.